My name is Meryl Bailey. I'm the managing partner at your caring law firm with today's hot topic. Today's hot topic is Downton Abbey and why being a boy matters to the series. Seriously, why is gender an issue? In case you aren't familiar with Downton Abbey, it's an Edwardian period drama airing on PBS TV as part of its Masterpiece Theatre Classic series. It is set in Yorkshire, England, and begins in 1912 when the news arrives at the country estate of Downton that the Titanic has sunk. Why does it matter to the Crawley family who lives at Downton Abbey that the Titanic went down? Because the Earldom of Grantham is subject to a fee-tail male. Let's break that down. The word fee, F-E-E, is a legal term that defines a property interest. In the United States, if you own your home, you probably own it as fee simple absolute. That means that you own it and you can do pretty much anything you darn well please with it. But in England, not so fast. The royal family is the ultimate owner of all of the land in England. The crown granted land on conditional title to certain aristocrats, hence the titled class. The word tail, T-A-I-L, means that the land, when it was originally granted by the crown, was granted with restrictions as to who in the future may inherit it. Only lineal descendants of the original grantee, the person on whom the title was granted by the crown, may inherit the property forever and ever and ever. So a property subject to a tail is considered entailed, E-N-T-A-I-L-E-D. Now, it was nearly impossible to ever sever that tail, which is a big part of the storyline of Downton Abbey. The Dowager Countess of Grantham, played by Maggie Smith, and the Countess of Grantham, played by Elizabeth McGovern, both want the tail undone. Cora Crawley, Elizabeth McGovern, keeps saying, "Let's smash the tail." And they want that to happen because they want Lady Mary, the eldest daughter of Cora and Robert, to inherit the property. Now remember, Robert, the Earl of Grantham, married Cora because he was land rich but cash poor, and Cora was a rich heiress with a bunch of cash. Cora, the Countess of Grantham, signed a prenuptial agreement regarding her wealth that she brought to the marriage, and she subjected her wealth to the Earldom of Grantham's fee-tail. But neither she nor her attorneys must have realized the third part of this tale, the fee-tail male, M-A-L-E. The King or Queen of England, who originally granted the land to the first Earl of Grantham, limited the transfer of title only to the first Earl's male, not female, lineal descendants. Robert is a male lineal descendant of the first Earl of Grantham. But Robert and Cora only had girl children. They had no boy children. Remember when Princess Diana was applauded when she birthed Princes William and Harry so quickly, back to back, for having the heir and a spare? Yeah, well, that didn't happen in the Crawley household. Because Robert had no male children. The nearest male relative who would inherit was his cousin, James Crawley. So James would become the next Earl of Grantham at Robert's death. And Cora and Mary and Edith and Sybil, yeah, they'd be out in the cold. Now, James had a son, Patrick Crawley, who would become the Earl of Grantham after Robert died and left it to James, and then James died, then it would be Patrick would be Earl of Grantham. This is why Robert's daughter, Lady Mary Crawley, and Robert's rising heir, Patrick Crawley, were arranged to be married. That would keep Cora, Mary, Sybil, and maybe Edith, if she wasn't so wretched, out of the poorhouse. But James and Patrick were on the Titanic, and they went down with the ship. Enter Matthew Crawley, who is Robert's third cousin once removed. This is why the British were so careful to keep track of lineal descendants. They could find Matthew. Because of the fee-tail male, Matthew Crawley is the next male in line. So he's the heir presumptive to the Earldom of Grantham. Now, how many of you even know your third cousins? Can you imagine getting a message that you were inheriting a boatload of money and land and property just because you happen to be the last man standing? Downton Abbey is full of interesting estate planning topics, so be sure to look at our other videos. Thank you so much for listening to today's hot topic. I hope to see you again soon.